All right. So today we're going to talk about being funny because I honestly think that humor is the fastest way into a girl's pants. Because what do women love, right? Women love emotions. I'm going to do a screen share here. Emotions. And I think this is where most guys fail with their verbal game. I get a lot of these engineers and analytical clients. Um, okay, hang on one second. There we go. Mhm. I'm not prepared, apparently. There we go. Yeah. So, seductive humor. So you're telling me there's a chance. Who's seen Dumb and Dumber? Yeah, just hit one in the chat. Yeah, no, don't hands up me. Just hit one in the chat if you've seen Dumb and Dumber. Classic, right? It's about these two friends who are just incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. And actually, no one expected this movie to do well. It was actually a pretty low budget movie. His sidekick, what's his name? Jim Carrey's sidekick. Nobody thought he was going to be funny, and it turned out to be a masterpiece, right? Dumber Dumber 2 is pretty funny. Like he falls in love with his own daughter. Anyway, so you're telling me there's a chance. There's a technique that I use a lot, and I didn't even use it as a technique. It was just upon reflection over my years of flirting with chicks that I really use this sort of dumb and dumber kind of humor. And basically what dumb and dumber is that it really helps if you're an intelligent guy, is that you just pretend to be dumb. And it can be really funny. And I'm going to give you some examples. See, it's really see if you were actually dumb and the girl knew that you were stupid, it wouldn't be very funny. It would be kind of like laughing at a retard. But when she knows you're smart and you misinterpret the situation on purpose, it can be totally hilarious, right? So ask any girl what they want in a guy. They're all going to say funny. I want him to be funny. And I don't know about you, but I've known a lot of funny guys in my life who weren't very good looking, who had hot ass girlfriends. I remember one girl I was banging. Um, she was young, I was almost 40. I think she was like 22. And she was cute. I mean, she was a bit overweight and she was a little bit fucking crazy. Like, so I just banged her, once or twice a week, and she was really needy. She was always texting me, and eventually I broke up with her. I just said, "Hey, I'm not your boyfriend, sorry." And she lost her shit. She went fucking mental on me, sent me 9 million texts. We call it dick sick. She got really dick sick. And she said, "Oh, but you're like this and this," and then she put in all caps, "And you're funny." Like all caps with exclamation points, like so mad. Like it's almost like say you bought that new car and you're like, but it had ABS, you crashed it. So they value that because you can give them emotions. There's a reason why women also go for bad boys. Men who they say, oh, the guy treats her like shit. It's because he's giving her emotions. A little bit more on this emotional thing. For example, I was driving my motorbike the other day, and it's just a little Honda 125cc scooter. And I went down to this beach, and you had to go down these four big dirt hills. Pretty fun, a little bit tricky, because I was sliding on the dirt a bit. All the taxi drivers were like, "Oh no, you can't." I'm in Thailand. They're like, "No, you can't go down. Too steep, too steep." I'm like, "Fuck that, I'm going." Adventure, So I go down to this beach. It was fine. On the way back up, there's four of these hills, and I get halfway up one hill, and my tire starts spinning, digs a hole. I'm in the middle of the fucking jungle. It's 35 degrees. My bike is dug in a hole on a hill like this. So I had to like hold the brake, get behind it, and like lift the bike out. It's like 200 fucking pounds. I had to deadlift this thing out of the holding, quickly grab the brake, and I did that. It took me an hour to get up these four bumps. And by the time I got to the top, I was completely drenched, exhausted. And when I was scared because it was getting dark. Mosquitoes were starting to swarm me. There's nobody around. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do out here, right? And when I got to the top, I was just like, woohoo! Lots of emotion, like victory. those dangerous, fucked up situations end up becoming your best memories. And so this is why women will go with like bad boys, guys who just got out of prison, drug dealers, shit like that, because they get these emotions of excitement and danger, and I survived another day with a bad boy. So then on the other hand, you got funny guys. Funny guys make people laugh. Pull my finger. No, I don't want to pull your finger. Pull my finger, bitch. Ah, ha, ha. Like Terrence and Clarence and Phillips type Canadian humor. That's also an emotion, and it's a very good emotion. But you don't want to be a clown, because there's a guy that can be funny and funny and funny. He uses his jokes to mask his insecurity. Right? How many of you know that jokester? He's like, you say something, he makes a joke back. You say something, he makes a joke back, and it's never ending. You don't want to be the guy who's lining up joke, 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 and never coming back to reality. So, if you're not funny, then you're gonna suffer in attracting women, big time. And here's the types of humor I use. So, Dumb and Dumber. If you haven't seen this, we got to watch it right now. Tell me if you can hear it in
What
the
do you
chat.
think the chances are
Can you hear that, guys? Yeah? Okay, good.
what do you think the chances are of a guy like you and a girl like me ending up together?
Well, Lloyd, that's difficult to say, and we really don't...
Hit me with it. Just give it to me straight. I came a long way just to see you married. Just least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Right? That's Dumb and Dumber humor. So I wish I could give you more practical examples of this. I'll work on it, but maybe like one way I use this in a technique, right? So say you're uh talking about movies and you're like, "Oh yeah, I really love that new Fast and Furious." Why you would like that movie, I don't know. But let's just say I really like that Fast and Furious, and she's like, "Oh, I don't really like those action movies. I'm more into romantic comedy." I'm gonna cover this. You make deadpan, like as if she just said the most horrible thing in the world, and you go, "This date is over. Get out. Get the get the fuck out." I used to drive with this guy, and when I worked as a blue collar um, truck driver, basically, I was doing installations, and I would drive with this guy, and he was super hilarious. And we'd be driving down the road, and then I would be like, "Okay, go left." We didn't have GPS, but go left, and then we start turning left, and I go, "No, no, no, right, right, right." And then he would look at me, and he'd be like, "If you fucking do that again, I'll fucking get you fired, you piece of shit." Like, but he was a really funny guy, but he'd act like really serious, like he was super pissed off at me, and that was kind of like Dumb and Dumber humor, right? Just acting stupid. So this was really popular in like the 90s and late 2000s in comedy movies. I think that's why I picked up this style of humor. So here's a scene from Zoolander. It's more Dumb and Dumber humor.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was a little hesitant at first, Mr. Mugatu. I mean, you've never hired me before, and I've been around
for ages and ages. You've been around for a long, long time. I never wanted anything from you. And now you're retired. I can't have you. And it's funny how it switches like that. But now the forbidden fruit must be tasted.
Well, when Maury told me what you were willing to do,
Todd! Are you not aware that I get farty and bloated with a foamy latte?
My mistake, Jacobin.
Your mistake indeed.
What the fuck, right?
Yes, Derek. What Maury said I was willing to do for you. Let's get back to the reason that we're really here.
Look at this run.
Without much further ado, I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
What is this?
A center for ants!
What?
Like, is he really that dumb?
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
Like, they don't know if he's.
Like it's just a
I don't
small-
want to hear your excuses!
They don't even know if he's for real, right? So I'll actually use this myself in on dates and stuff like that. Like, man, I wish I had more examples. Does anybody have an example of them using this sort of humor where you just misinterpret what the girl says or what she does and do this sort of Dumb and Dumber kind of humor? If anyone can think of an anecdotal situation, let me know. I should have prepared more, but I do it almost intuitively now. Like I do it with my sisters a lot, and it's a really easy way to be funny. Um, like okay, I'll say this for example. I'll be like, "Oh, I really love Thai food, you know. I'll be eating Thai food," and the girl will go, "Oh, I don't. It's just a bit too spicy for me." And I'll look at her and go, "So you're racist." Oh. Right? Like that's I use the racist joke all the time, especially in woke culture. Like the racist joke is really funny, or I'll be, "Oh, so you." Or women sometimes girls don't like cats or they don't like dogs. And so if I'm hanging out with a girl and she's like, "Oh, I don't really like cats." And I go, "Oh, I get it. So you're a racist." I'm not racist. I just like cats, right? Like that kind of Dumb and Dumber kind of humor. I use it a lot. And it's not that hard to execute once you get the hang of it. Here's another one. Borat. You'll see so much comedy, so much of this style of comedy is based on this just pretending to be stupid. In this situation, she doesn't know that he's a comedian. This is actually a real person. So it's not funny for her, but it's funny for everybody else watching.
Should I pay interest in people's around the table sides?
Yes. And if it is a big table, a very long table, you might want to restrict your conversation
Yes.
to people right in your vicinity.
Very nice.
So you are not yelling.
Can't see anything.
What
Tony.
do you do?
I'm the pastor of a church.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just me.
What do
You can't see anything? What?
Oh, maybe I clicked off. Hang on. Sorry. It's just me. I clicked on the meeting button. Okay.
Okay. I'll just get to the beginning of the date here.
What do you do?
I'm the pastor of a church.
Yes. What do you do?
I have spent years in construction. I'm recently retired.
You are retired.
Yes. And now,
Physical or mental?
Retired.
no, not retired. I don't work anymore.
Stopped working.
Stopped working.
It's very good you allow Rita to eat with you in the same place.
That's not what we're saying about this man. He is not what you would refer to as retard. No.
No, not at all.
It's very good. See, the Dumb and Dumber part is when he's saying it's very good of you to allow a retard to eat at the same table with you. Right?
What?
Look.
Some game. So like, okay, there was this German girl I picked up once. I was on this is the perfect example of Dumb and Dumber humor, right? So I was snorkeling with my friend at the beach, and there was two babes on the beach, two German girls, and I came out of the water with my flippers and my mask and my snorkel, and I said, "What country is this?" And they were like, "What?" I said, "What country is this?" And they said, "This is Thailand." And I went, "Fuck!" And I looked back at my friend, I'm like, "Wrong country." And then my friend was like, "Shit." And they started laughing so hard. And when I hooked up with her, I asked her, I always debrief with the girls, "Why did you decide to hook up with me?" And she said, "I thought you were hilarious." Right? There was another girl I met I like the beach, by the way, and there was a swing. And I do this all the time. Like these great big swings, and I'll be like, "Oh, a swing." You know, and if I'm on a date and the girl comes to get on the swing, I'll get on the swing and I'll be like, "Oh, no, you can't come on. It's my swing. Push me, bitch." You know, like you act childish in a way, and you just misinterpret things. Like if you watch this again, you can see
Should I pay interest in people?
You can see his humor is really funny. Like because she doesn't know that he's acting.
Around the table sides.
Yes. And
This
if
isn't
it
the
is
part I
a
want to see. It's
big
this one.
What do you do?
I'm the pastor of a church.
Yes.
So, okay, so you say you want to misinterpret this guy. The guy says, I'm a pastor of the church." How could you misinterpret this? Say, if, obviously no women are pastors of churches, but can any of you guys think of a way that you could misinterpret that and do Dumb and Dumber? Like he does the retard thing. What about the pastor of a church? Say a girl says that. She's like, "Oh, I'm a minister at a church." How could you Dumb and Dumber that? If anyone can think of anything. I don't think I can see the chat. Here we go. We got chat going on. Yes, yes, one. No one can think of anything.
What?
I might say like, oh God, I think of pasteurized. Like, you pasteurize milk? What? Or maybe that's not that funny. Or oh, you run a cult? Or there's different ways you can do it with a woman. She might be oh, I teach yoga. Or she's gonna say, I'm a student. Man, there's so many better examples I could give. I'm not prepared, sorry. But
What do
anyway,
you
this sort of
do?
humor
I
is
have
not difficult to execute on.
Years in construction. I recently
So he says, you spent years in construction. I might be like, oh, did you build the Eiffel Tower? Like with girls from foreign countries, if they say I'm from Japan, I'll go, oh, you know Godzilla? Which is total Dumb and Dumber, right? But makes them laugh because obviously they don't know Godzilla. Two, it's kind of offensive to just assume that they would know Godzilla because it's very Japanese. Or I might be like, oh, you know how to make sushi with your feet? I need a girl like you in my life. Right? There's Dumb and Dumber humor. If she says she's from Egypt, I'll be like, oh, do you have four oiled men if I arrive up on it to meet you on a date? Are you gonna have four oiled up shirtless men carry you out on a platform with like a Persian cat on your lap? Or if a girl says she's from Russia, I'll be like, oh, what village do you come from? Right? Usually from Moscow or St. Petersburg. Like that's kind of like just pretending you're an idiot. And they know that you're not actually an idiot. And a lot of it's the way you deliver it. Like I'll like glaze my eyes over and sort of. Have you ever talked to someone who's actually really stupid and they have sort of a glazed look in their eyes and it's like they're looking at you, but they're holding eye contact, but they're looking through you. You can tell they're somewhere deep in their processing centers rather than with you. Like that's the kind of, Borat does it really well.
retired.
You are retarded.
Yes. And now,
Physical or mental?
retired.
no, not retarded. I don't work anymore.
Stopped working.
Stopped working.
It's very good you allow Rita to eat with you in the same place.
That's not.
Right. So you guys get the point, right? Now, another type of humor, gay truth telling. How many of you have ever spent time with homosexuals? Not in the, maybe it's up to you. Okay, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's up to you. There's some Dumb and Dumber humor a little bit right there. Gay guys get away with anything. They can say anything, and often I know so many gay guys that are absolute riots to party with because they'll just say, "Bitch, your ass is so fat you couldn't even get through the door." And like, or if I said that, the girl will get pissed off and start crying. The gay guy says it, everybody laughs. "Haha, you're so funny," right? They get a gay pass. Bitch, please, your ass is so fat, NASA would make a landing on it. With gay humor, you can make sex jokes, fart jokes, or you can just tell the truth. Which is something I wanted to add into here, which is just truth telling. Right? Truth telling. Extreme truth telling. So in a practical situation, right? Like basically if you're on a date or you're doing a cold approach or you're anywhere in a group setting with a lot of people, you can just tell the truth and you embody that sort of gay energy when you do it. So what would be an example be like say a girl orders a big dessert, and she gets her big dessert. A gay person could say, "Girl, if you eat that, you're gonna be fat as fuck." Right? Whereas if you said that, like, if you eat that, you're going to become fat. Like, and you don't you're kind of hesitant to say it. It's not going to be funny, but the gay guy gets a pass and he can say shit like that. So I don't know. I was looking for shows that demonstrate this, but I don't watch many of those shows. I just have a lot of experience hanging out with hilarious gay dudes who are completely unfiltered. They're very flamboyant. And I'll see a lot of pickup artists when they get really good at pickup. It's almost like they have that same ability to just say what they want without really not giving a shit what people think, right? Um, for example, I did a job interview, and I came into the job interview in this cafe, and they were a long time ago, and they said, "Oh, would you like a piece of cake?" And I said, "No, no, I'm fine." And they said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Look, if I don't get the job when I leave, I'm going to take the whole cake with me." Um, that's and they all laughed, and I actually got the gig, right? Because of that sense of humor, which is like it's a feeling that like, of abundance is what it is. Like the gay guy at the end of the day, he's still gonna go home and get fucked in the ass, like, and he's gonna love it, you know? Like he doesn't care what you think about him. He's gay. It's like a midget making midget jokes. He really doesn't care. And a lot of men are so stifled. You guys are so stiff and so worried about saying the wrong thing. Um, if you if you thought of yourself as being a midget or just a gay dude, you're like, dude, it can't get much worse for you, right? So fuck it. Like that's actually very attractive to women when you can just freely say the things that other people are afraid to say. And that's what a lot of comedy is, right? It's just saying the things. I was watching a comedian today on YouTube and he made a COVID joke. He put a little chair up and he said, "Oh, this is like a COVID memorial." And one woke ass bitch in the crowd was like, "My father died of COVID." And he was like, "Oh, here we go, okay." He said, he said, "Who here had a relative die of cancer?" And like all these hands came up, and he's like, "Oh, so it's okay to make cancer jokes?" And everybody started laughing because it's the truth, right? That sort of unfiltered truth can be really funny. Truth telling, deadpan. Okay. A lot of you guys, and I've watched so many replays of your recordings of your day game recordings, and I listen to them, and you'll try to make a joke and you'll go, just kidding. And the girl hasn't even processed the humor yet. Right? Like for example, we're too similar, we'd never get along. Oh, we're way too similar, we'd never get along. Like if you deliver that mystery method line correctly, it can be quite amusing. It's not hilarious, but it can be funny because the girl, especially if she's really hot, no guy ever does that. Hard push, hard push, and it makes them laugh. That's the goal of it. But so many guys will be like, "Oh, we're too similar. We'd never get along." Just kidding, right? Deadpan is when you hold that frame. You hold that frame that you just told a story and or you just made a joke and you're irreverent about it. Like when you watch when you watch that Zoolander clip, he's like, "What is this? A school for ants?" And you start to think like, is he serious? Is he not serious? That's what makes it funny is when you're unsure if this person is actually this dumb, right? Or yeah, so you want to be able to hold that. Um it's worth rewatching by the way, this scene from Zoolander. Because you can learn a lot about watching not just Ben Stiller's performance. Why is it not opening it? But Will Ferrell.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was a little hesitant at first, Mr. Mugatu. I mean, you've never hired me before, and I've been around
for ages and ages. You've been around for a long, long time. I never wanted anything from you.
Sorry.
And now you're retired. I can't have you. And it's funny how it switches like that. But now
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna take another look here. Uh, okay, okay, I've got it. Okay, we're gonna watch Will Ferrell's performance.
To tell you the truth, I was a little hesitant at first, Mr. Mugatu. I mean, you've never hired me before.
So look at his facial expressions, right? This is almost like deadpan, but you see he's totally out of context. If you look at his eyes. Like you can do this with girls too. Like the girl could be talking about something like her cat, and you could just deadpan that look right at her. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And this will make her laugh. Like, there's a thing I used to do with girls. We'd be we'd be at the, I'd be at a bar trying to pick up sitting beside a girl usually. So when I sit down beside them on like a couch in a club or something. And and then when she would turn away, when she would look back, I would have my face pressed right up towards her with my lips puckered, like, and my eyes really wide. Like I know she's not gonna kiss me when she sees that, but it just would make her laugh because the girl would be like, "Is this guy for real? Is this guy serious?" It's a deadpan type of humor that you do with your face.
I mean, you've never hired me before, and I've been around
For ages and ages. You've been around for a long, long time and never wanted anything from me. And now you're retired. I can't have you. And it's funny how it switches like that. But now the forbidden fruit must be tasted.
See, that's the deadpan. That's the deadpan. I use this a lot, and you guys can too, and it's quite funny.
Well, when Maury told me what you were willing to do, I...
So this is funny because of context, right? And this is actually another humorous technique you can use in your game. So he's going from very interested to very angry to almost flirtatious. And it's I don't know how you could execute that as a technique, but I tend to do this same thing with girls all the time is I'll switch my emotional state based on the things that she says. And I'll go to angry, I'll go to really happy, I'll go to super serious, and it's all about just expressing ridiculous emotions that are out of context.
God, are you not aware that I get farty and bloated with a foamy latte?
So that's gay humor right there. That's exactly like the gay truth telling that I'm talking about. Are you not aware that I get farty and bloated when I get a non-soy latte? Like if you said that to a girl on a date, she would probably think you're hilarious because you're overacting and you're over emoting.
My mistake, Jacobin.
Your mistake indeed. He's like, is this sexy? Is it not? Right? So I highly suggest you watch those three movies to start with, just to get the gist of this sort of Dumb and Dumber style of humor. Right. Deadpan. This date is over. I thought I knew you. I thought I knew you. These are things I say all the time, usually out of context. Oops. I want to share. Sorry, man, it's early for me, guys, so what the fuck? Hmm. I close the window, and when I go to share, it kind of disappears under like 900 layers. Anyway, I'll just read it to you. All right. I thought I knew you. This isn't working out. Uh, I'm dumping you. I thought you were different. Right? So here's a prime example, a really basic example. You ask a girl what kind of ice cream does she like, and or you say I really like chocolate ice cream. She goes, "Oh, I prefer vanilla." You look at her deadpan, you go, "I thought you were different." It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Or if you say, "Oh, I really like Game of Thrones," and she goes, "Oh, I don't really like that show," and then you go, "I thought I knew you. This date is over. This isn't working out. That's it. I'm dumping you. I get the house." That's that sort of Dumb and Dumber deadpan thing, and you can do those on almost anything where she disagrees with you. Anytime she disagrees with you, or about food, movies, music, you can do this deadpan break rapport. That's why break rapports are funny. Because the girl doesn't know if you're serious or not. Storytelling. So funny stories can be really powerful too. Here's an example. You guys who have worked with me as, in a coaching capacity have probably heard a lot of these stories 90 times. I was in this dormitory in Thailand 10 years ago, and it was one of those really crickety beds, like those really like thin metal beds that squeak, and I was on the top, and it was this huge dorm on Koh Phi Phi. It's like the party island. There's 24 beds in this fucking dorm, and all in one room. And so anyway, I'm up on the top and I'm trying to sleep, and then in the middle of the night I feel this, wow, like the whole bed was shaking, like
I thought it was an earthquake. I woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? I look down. There's this dude. He's got this fat bitch. He's got her ankles like tree trunks up above her head, and he's just fucking ramming her. And she's oh, and I'm like holding on to the bed, like riding a bucking bronco. And I look down, and the entire room is watching, man, and people are laughing. Everyone didn't have smartphones at the time, so they weren't videotaping it, I don't think. But this is a one way I bring up sex conversations. The sex conversations in pickup, by the way, is by telling one of these stories about sex in dorms or hearing the neighbors having sex. Um, so I mean, it's not the funniest story, but it usually gets people laughing. So you should always have in your pocket like stories that you can tell that you know work that make people laugh, right? I've also dabbed in pastels, more of what? What are you talking about? More of an oil paint guy. Oh,
No,
I
this is
see.
from the pastor. Oh, you're a church pastor.
Oh,
I'm
right,
more of
right.
an oil paint guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm a pastor. You're like, oh, never eaten dog myself, but I'm open to experiences. Yeah, that's pretty good. Like you say that really deadpan, yeah, and she's gonna wonder if you're serious, and it could even be offensive, but it's that gay kind of humor where a gay guy could get away with saying that, right? Or Borat could get away with saying that, so that's what's gonna make it funny if she's smart enough to understand. Some chicks are dumb, and they're not gonna get it, and especially if you're dealing with women who are from a foreign country, they don't get our highbrow humor. But you can use this sort of dumb and dumber humor on foreign girls. It's really easy, right? For certain situations. If you're like going for kebabs and she's like, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat." And you can look at her and you'd be like, "Well, how do you stay alive?" And just that face. Look at my face like, "Well, how do you stay alive?" Like, and you get this glazed over look in your eye, and then the girl will be like, "Is he serious?" And then when they find out you're not, they'll start laughing, right? Or if she says like, "Well, I'm from Korea," and you go, "You don't smell like kimchi." Right? It's really easy with the cultural cliches to pull off this humor. Is this making sense, guys? Is this something that you find practical? Let me know, one, in the chat if you're finding this practical, and two, if it's not making sense at all and you have no idea how to apply it. I would love to know. We're almost done. Right. So, exercises. Easy. Watch stand-up comedy. Watch a lot of stand-up comedy. Watch a lot of funny movies. Obviously, do cold approach. Get out there and practice. Practice on dates. But the Dumb and Dumber and gay irreverence, it's not that difficult, right? So the keys to the humor is to be unfiltered. Most guys are so stifled. Like, hi, I thought you were cute and I had to meet you. What are you doing today? Oh, that's cool. Like, I am an engineer. Like, and they're like, I don't know what to say. It's like there's 9 million pickup courses out there, things you could do, right? Like palm reading, cold reads, storytelling, a little bit of teasing. This is just another technique, the Dumb and Dumber technique. You're unapologetic. When you make your joke, you're unapologetic. You're uncensored. You're not censoring yourself. You're just saying the shit that would come to you, like verbal diarrhea. Irreverent. I think I spelt that wrong. I'm supposed to be a writer. There we go. And unstifled. So you can take an improv or stand-up comedy class. In theory, improv classes should help guys to become more funny. But I found a lot of guys take these classes and it helps them a little bit with their approach anxiety, but they're still not funny. Sometimes I wonder if being funny is like an inborn talent, but I don't think it is. I think you can learn to be funny, right? My friend, he used to make this joke all the time at parties. Everybody'd be laughing, having a good time, and he would come in and he would look all sad. He'd look all sad. He'd say, this, people would look at him like kind of wonder what's up, and he would go, "This is the worst birthday ever." And then when everyone's like, "Oh, it's your birthday," and then you kind of give a little smile, like you use your face, right? And everyone will start laughing. It's not your birthday, like that. And I've used that probably 100 times in field as an opener, especially in bars, even in day game. I just go up to girls and I'm like, "This is the worst birthday ever." It's your birthday, and I'll be like, "Yeah." You start smiling like you're getting some attention. It's funny every single time. Just like I always say, the like, this date is over, get the fuck out, get out of my life. like hard break rapport, like gay humor kind of shit. Like gay guys will say like, "Shut up, bitch, I hate you." And I actually learned this from another friend who would always tell his he always had a new girlfriend, and he'd be sitting there and he would just she would say something, he goes, "Shut up, I hate you." And the girls always smile and like punch him, like they liked it, right? This sort of freedom of speech that you have, this expression. So it's that hopefully that helps you guys. It's a really simple technique, just something to keep in your mind that you can pull this out of the hat and try to find examples of this in your own life, like jokes that you've used over and over and over that repeatedly kind of get laughs. Try to cut out this like I'm just kidding shit unless she's getting actually offended, right? And try to keep the deadpan face and you're gonna be funny. Trust me. Yeah. Let's see if anyone said a two here. One and one. Okay. And if anybody has any questions or wants to share stories or tips on being funnier or comedians that you think you should watch to learn this kind of humor. For example, here's an example. Louis C.K. He has this one joke where he's like, "Yeah, so if I died and I was going to be reincarnated and they asked me like who I'd want to be, what race I'd want to be, I'd just come back as a white guy. This is awesome." Right? Like, yes. Like he was saying it's so awesome to be a white guy because you have so many privileges. And of course that made everybody laugh because it's a taboo subject. Taboo subjects are always funny. Ass sex, anything to do with racism, sexism, all this shit that we're not supposed to talk about. That's usually funny stuff, right? Um, yeah, and that's about it. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now.